So conventionally, the meaning of the term, the definition of the term average is you take the sum total of all the values provided to you for a given set of values. You take the sum of all those values and then you divide by the number of terms. Okay, I'm giving you one example. Okay, find the average of the following numbers. Okay, so to find the average of these numbers, you basically add these numbers: 21 plus 19, 20, 22, 6, 21, 18, 21, 23, 19, 19. You add them and you divide by the number of terms. There are 10 such numbers if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the average is nothing but sum of all these numbers. If you add them, you get 203. Divide by the number of terms, 10 terms. So the sum is basically 203 divided by 10, 20.3. That is the average. Okay, so for the given set of 10 numbers, the average can be found as 20.3. Okay, guys, so we take it further. We go on to the next part. Let's say there's one question where you have to find the average of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take the average of all these terms, means sum of the terms divided by the number of terms. Sum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 15. Divided by 5, it comes out to be equal to 3. Now, the point I want to make from this is, let's understand something here. Okay, the terms here given, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we observe that 3 ke respect mein, okay, this number 4. Okay, 4 has 1 point extra than 3. Okay, and 2 has 1 point less than 3, isn't it? Same thing you can observe for the number 5 also. 5 has 2 points more than 3, and 1 has 2 points less than 3. Okay, so what we'll try to do now is we'll try to compensate the terms. Okay, 5 ke paas jo extra 2 hai, that we give it to 1. Okay, and jo extra 1 4 ke paas tha, that we give it to 2. What do we observe? All the terms are equal to the average. Now, this is the actual definition of the term average. It tells you it is the entity by which every group member has to be replaced such that the group total remains the same. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, when we add them, the sum is equal to 15. Okay, this sum 15 is nothing but the average 3 multiplied by the number of terms, which is 15. Okay, instead of considering them separately as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay, we will discuss the average as the entity by which you can replace every member of the group. All right. Now, apart from the average, there are two more quantities which we need to discuss: the median and the mode. Suppose if you're given a set of numbers, let's say I talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 only. Okay. When they are arranged in the ascending order, the middle term becomes the median. Okay, and suppose in a set of numbers including 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, look at the number which is the most frequently occurring number, that becomes equal to the mode. Here in this case, the mode is 2. Okay, it is occurring twice, 2 times. So that becomes the mode. Okay, now the point of discussion here continues. Okay, I want to talk about something much more significant than that. There are two things which we can observe over here. We took the excess or deficit with respect to 3. So we talk about something called as deviation. And the rule here is that about the average, okay, with respect to the average, all the deviations will always cancel out to give you 0. It makes sense, right? Right. So if you observe, if you take the entire group also collectively, the total excess is how much? Plus 3 is same as the total deficit with a negative sign, minus 3. They both cancel out to give you 0, right? This is the rule of deviation. Okay, if you're calculating the deviations about the average, it has to cancel out to give you 0. That is the meaning of the term average, right? Every term basically represents the average. Okay, now the next property is basically the assumed average. So assume any number as the average and divide the excess or deficit equally between all the terms to get the actual average. Okay, we'll see some questions now, okay, based on deviations, okay, and also on the assumed average. Okay, find the average of the following numbers. Okay, the same question now we'll apply, we'll solve using the assumed average. Okay, so assumed average method हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि we assume any number of the group as the average. Now, I personally prefer the smallest number. I'll tell you why in some time. Okay, so assume the smallest number in the group is as the average. In this case, the smallest number is 18. So I'm assuming average as the as 18. Okay, the smallest term. Okay, अब हम क्या करेंगे? For every term, we'll calculate the excess or deficit with respect to 18. Okay. Now, guys, if you observe carefully in this table, since I've assumed 18 as the average, the smallest number, right? So there are only plus signs if you observe in the deviations. Okay. Well, if you assume 21 as the average, there will be some terms जो average से ज़्यादा है. There will be some terms जो average से कम है. तो जहां भी average से ज़्यादा वाले term होंगे, वहां plus sign आएगा deviation में. Average से कम वाले जो भी term होंगे assume, उसमें negative sign आएगा. So you will be basically, juggling between plus and minus signs. I completely want to avoid all this headache. Okay. So either you assume the smallest number as the average, or you can assume the greatest as the average. Okay. That is basically making things very easy. So if you calculate the deviation of all the terms, 21 is 3 more than the average. You can see 19 is 1 more than the average. 20 is 2 more than the average. 22 is 4 more than the average. 21 is 3 more. 18 is the average itself, so no deviation. 21 is 3. 23 is 5. 19 is 1. 19 is 1. Okay. ये सारे deviations को हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Add करेंगे. अभी calculate the total deviation. Okay. So if you add them, if you observe 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1, the total is 23. Okay. Now this total deviation जो हमने निकाला है, ये टोटल डिविएशन को हम लोग क्या करेंगे? सब में इक्वली डिवाइड कर देंगे. 10 नंबर्स है, 10 के 10 में हम लोग क्या करेंगे? 23 को इक्वली डिवाइड कर देंगे. ओके. सो यू विल गेट 23 upon 10 which is 2.3. मतलब अपना एवरेज is not only 18, it's 18 plus 2.3. 20.3. It's as simple as that. Find the value of x if the average of 152, 165, 176 and 187 and x is 174. Okay. We first try out by using the definition of average. The average means sum total of all the numbers divided by the number of terms. So at first we take the sum of all these numbers. 152 plus 165. This whole thing when you divide by 5, it should be equal to the average 174, right? Now when you add 680 plus x, of course, equal to 174 times 5. 5 4s are 20, 5 7 are 35, 36, 37, 5 6 7 8. Okay, so basically x is equal to 870 minus 680. The answer is 190. Okay, this is how you conventionally use the formula for the average, the sum total divided by number of terms, and you find out the missing term, which is x. Okay. Now we use the method of deviations to see how very quickly you can solve the question without much calculations. Now see how. It is given that the average of all these numbers is 174. We simply calculate the excess and deficit with respect to the average, and they have to cancel out to give you 0. That concept we apply. Since average is given, we found the missing term. Let's see how. 152 is 22 less than the average. 165 is 9 less than the average. 176 is 2 more than the average, and 187 is 13 more. So when you add all these terms now to give you a minus 16, okay, to compensate that, x should have an excess of 16. That means x is plus 16, which is 190. 190, which is 16 more than the average. That's the answer. See, it's as simple as that.